One of the gang members picks a fight with Kunio. Of course, this is the first battle, so these are like the weakest people you ever come across in any video game ever. We find out in this game that Kunio is kind of the leader of his own gang. All of his friends kind of look up to him to get the job done. I mean, it only makes sense. He is hot-blooded, tough and all. As you've read, one of his friends is getting his ass beat in the parking lot, as usual. Kunio comes just in time to save his friend, and of course he sends his friend off because he's completely useless to the gang. As good as the storyline is for this game, the combat lacks pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty clunky, it's pretty slow, it's really buggy. It's really a disappointment, especially as this being the first Kunio game on the Super Nintendo. Over time you'll get used to the combat system and it gets pretty fun. You can look at the stats of your character, kind of like the other Kunio games. Looks pretty RPG. Any of the characters on the screen can start a fight, even Ricky. Every now and again Ricky will fuck up and hit your character and take a lot of life. It comes to show just how buggy this game can be. Every now and again your teammates will act a little stupid, so you know you have to knock some sense into them. You gain experience points by beating on anyone, even defenseless women. Sometimes even a girl will pick a fight with you. Sorry Ricky, I had to do it. If you don't level up, you'll find yourself dead really fast. For the final game, we'll be looking at Shin Nekketsu Koha Kunio no Banka. That roughly translates to something like New Hot-Blooded Kunio in the Mansion of Changes. Now that is an extremely rough translation. Now let's take a look at the video. Looks like Kunio and Ricky got themselves in some trouble. Now this game is very story driven, almost RPG story driven. Now as you can see, Kunio and Ricky have been arrested for a hit and run. Being a hot-blooded tough guy leads to nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble. Kunio and Ricky have to immediately prove themselves to not be sissies while in jail. These random ass inmates try to make you their little lackeys, but of course, you can't settle for that.
よマイク預かり仲間たち親たちファンたちに今日も感謝して進む荒れたオフロード
Now, I personally think that this game has the best combat system in the entire series. It's a little difficult at times, but overall, compared to all the other games, it's a lot more easier. Like the rest of the games, it takes a while to get used to, but once you get used to it, you'll most definitely find this to be the best controls in any Kunio game. Kunio gets a visit from a friend in high school, and they kind of discuss how it turns out that Kunio and Ricky didn't really hit anyone. They were framed by somewhat of a look-alike. Not only that, but since Kunio's been out, the guy who's running the school nowadays is messing with his girlfriend. It's small little scenes like this that make this game stand out from the rest of the Super Nintendo games. You only really see scenes like this inside CD-based consoles like Sega CD or PC Engine. With the help of the inmates from earlier, Kunio and Ricky make an escape. You kind of get a feel for the combat system here a little. Not too much, only because later on in the game you get a couple of new moves. Nothing really new, but some of the stuff that we saw from the very first Kunio game series, like grabbing the enemy, punching them, then kneeing them, or throwing them over your shoulder, and things like that. And that was just the opening of the game. Now that Kunio's escaped, he meets up with his girlfriend to find out what the hell's going on. Turns out while he was gone, some other guy took his white uniform and is now running the school. Here we have the guy who's pretty much taken Kunio's place since he's been gone. Just like in the last couple of games, the bosses tend to talk a lot of trash before the fight. Since this game is also fan translated, you'll run across a lot of cuss words. In this scene, we can kind of read the translators poking fun at the video game. At least I hope they're poking fun at the video game. I really hope it didn't translate into that. For some strange reason, Japanese kids tend to sit in this weird, awkward, fetal-like position. I've seen this in many movies and I really didn't understand it, but I guess it's like the coolest way to sit over there in Japan. As the game progresses, you get 2 more female party members. This makes the 2 players somewhat versatile.